I'm Annick van Hool. I'm an independent consultant and property and asset manager for Belgian private investors. I used to be a board member and Secretary General of the BBC in the years 2009-2012, and I'm actually still a member of the BBC. Well, this was a long time ago. I heard from Belgians who were Belgian persons who were in Poland and who invited me to go to the BBC. My first meeting, I remember, was at the Marriott on the 40th floor, where I probably met in the beginning Jean-Marie de Baardemaker and Michel Redouté. Later on I met with Ronnie Richardson, Alex Paklons, Pierre Wautelet, Johanna Karniol, and also Jolanta Radziszewska from Batida. And I remember having one of the first meetings also at the first Batida in Warsaw, in Nowogrodzka. Then later on I was contacted by Dunia Matskov, who was the Secretary General of the BBC, and who asked me if I could become a member of the Supervisory Board together with Umberto Arts. And that was in fact the start with the BBC. Well, the very first logo was very simple. It was just a flag, but it had clear lines. And it brought up to me that it was close to the Belgian cartoons like Tintin, the Smurfs, and Lucky Luke. And I thought this was a good basic to make a new logo. So we asked the designer to help us in making a new logo, and he came up with triangles which presented the Belgian flag. But then we thought about the triangles as sails, so he made it like a ship, and that's what came up finally, the sails from the ship. And the blue sea, because Raphaël Delstange proposed to have not a blue sea but a Polish sea, so it was sailing on the Polish sea, on the Polish flag, and so that was the new logotype that we created. I think it's a very nice logo because it's very different from the logos of other chambers of commerce, and it's also very flexible and visible to be used in a filmic aspect. Well, I would rather talk about small companies. Small companies very often came in touch with problems like the administration, very expensive lawyers, very expensive financial services, and this was very often a problem when they had problems, that they couldn't afford to have good services to help them moving forward. And this is something that in the last few years has changed a lot, and is much more affordable for smaller companies. They can afford better lawyers, better financial services when they need it. So I would say these were mainly, and also then the administration, but still the administration is sometimes still difficult, but sometimes it has improved. The Belgian Days developed from, originally they were linked to the trade missions from FIT, AWEX and the Brussels region, and later on they became more independent and developed with their own subjects, their own conferences and their own activities. In a later stadium we always had a gala, a concert and conferences and meetings. In fact, the benefit for companies to participate in the Belgian Days was to network, to be in touch with with other companies and with new subjects, with innovative solutions in the market from both sides, the Polish side and the Belgian side. So it was more an exchange, and it is more an exchange platform for Polish and Belgian companies, and that's in fact what the Belgian Days have later on become, to be a networking platform and a platform for innovation. In early 2000, the activities of the Belgian Business Chamber was to contact all the Belgian companies that were active in Poland, from very small one-person companies to the bigger players like CFE, Creditbank and so on, and to prepare the directory. Based upon these contacts, to prepare the directory. There were very little Polish companies at that time linked to the Belgian Business Chamber, and the next point was to get members and to find sponsors to organize monthly meetings, because there were, besides the holidays, the summer holidays, there were always monthly meetings during the whole year. Then also the organization of the Belgian Business Days. So it was really a full-time job, and I had also my own full-time job, so I had two full-time jobs, but I've always done it with a lot of pleasure on Saturdays, Sundays, holidays, and also with, well, it was always a pleasure to work for the Belgian Business Chamber. In fact, I have a lot of happy memories from the BBC, but I will only tell you two. And one of them was in 2010 in Bydgoszcz, the Fed Cup with the tennis players. It was Belgium against Poland. We had about 60 persons representatives from the Belgian Business Chamber who went to Bydgoszcz, and in Bydgoszcz itself there were also about 40 fans of the tennis players that were we were fans of our tennis players. We were the smallest group in the whole arena of Bydgoszcz, but we were the most noisy and the most enthusiastic persons from the whole arena. On Saturday evening we had a big meeting in a restaurant, and it was Jean Bos, a Belgian chef, who cooked for us. And also for these Belgian fans who came especially to Bydgoszcz to be fans of our tennis players. It was a big joy, a nice event. Another event that I also remember as a very nice event was the conference regarding sustainable development and renewable energies in the Palace of Culture. It was in the Palace of Culture, which was a very, very impressive meeting room, and I really enjoyed it. It was a very successful event also. Well, I wish the BBC a long life and a lot of joy, and also to be open for small players, because small companies have less possibilities to make themselves known than big players. They don't have marketing possibilities as a big player has. So I think the BBC has a task to help them and to help them in moving on in their businesses and develop themselves. So that's what I wish the BBC for the future.